Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, friends. Welcome to Big Dano Paints Monday night stream. Welcome. Let's just give this a little tweak. Yes, there you go. Now you can see. Not much of my camera. Yes, well, I'm going to get stuck straight in tonight, but this is what we've done so far. G'day, Scarabost. Is this set to... It is, yep. So this is what we're at so far. Did a little tweaking to him yesterday. So yeah, pretty happy with him at the moment. I think we'll do some tattoos, but we'll leave that for now. Want to get onto the Phoenix because I don't want to paint this guy until I have the snake, so I can just make sure. But we may end up starting this guy tonight anyway, because I am pretty confident that I've got a good strategy for this Phoenix that isn't going to take a long time. Speaking of, let's commence that strategy right now. This is Surface Primer, Vallejo. And I'm using it through a brush with some water. Because I want to try some inside out highlighting, if you will. Some light in the recesses, shooting up to dark around the edges. That's the rough plan, if I can make it work. If I can make it work. In my head, this plan works great. We may do some more on that guy. We may do the tattoos on the other guy as well. It's just a veritable oyster tonight for us to eat. So the reason I'm using primer, it's already diluted, and I feel like it's going to be brighter when it dries. If it dries. Yeah, it should. But I'm going to try using some pigments. Start with some pigments and then expand out from there. Alright, so yeah, so that's sort of what I want to see is the white there in the recesses, but let's just really pump it up here. So pump up the volume along with the bass. Alright, pigments. Bit of pigmentation. Let's find out what pigments we've got to play with. So I bought some fluorescent pigments a while back, and I don't use them enough at all, but I reckon they could be fun to try. Yep. Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Happy Party Monday to you, Frog Jim. Let's just try this off a bit more. Alright, so my theory is as follows. I'm going to, yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm going to put pigment over this, and then I'm going to paint over the bits that are supposed to be darker, and then I'm going to airbrush to harmonise somehow. You're welcome, Paul. I don't generally take too long to post things, mate, even painted models. Try to aim to do it within a couple of days at max. Alright, let me get a shit brush. Okay. Maybe we'll use this one. Yep. Alright. Yes, it's fluorescent pigments. Yes. Get some fluoro pigments. Yes. Get them up you. Hello, Tanithlas. So there's two ways you can do pigments. You can smush them on there dry, or you can wet them and then put them on there wet. We're going to try that second option. But we just probably want that to be a little bit more dry. What is in this fucking brush? No, I'm not using that brush. There's shit in it. Let's use this one. Yeah, it is indeed very, very bright looking. You're absolutely right. It's pigment. So it's basically what you have in your paints, pure, without any other shit. So I would not call myself a pigment master. This is going to be fun for all of us. So I've just added a little bit of matte varnish into there. Let's just tap a little bit in. Okay, Space Toy. Yes, thought we might try something different. So this is option 1 or option 2. I don't remember which one was which. I like this option because you're basically making a paint out of a pigment, which is awesome. But so Sometimes it doesn't come out perfectly, but let's see how this goes. G'day Rowie, what's happening, champion? I actually don't know that I want this much bright yellow, but oh, love a cheeky HSP, mate, eh? Fucking hell. I had one on Wednesday last week. Man, it's just outrageous, isn't it? I'm all about beef, mate. All about that beef. Yeah, just give me anything, I'll eat it. Not often. I mean, usually most of my casual muck around jobs is about 95% of what I paint. So take from that what you will. But my casual muck around jobs are usually like they're usually it's rarely about my actual technique that I'm mucking around with. I'm usually pretty, I don't know what I'm saying actually. Sometimes, I guess. Alright, let's see how this looks. You all think I'm on crack. I could very well be on crack. Almelia, g'day. Not sure I can give you a strong answer to that. Other than I just felt like trying pigments. Yeah, wish I had a better way to describe my thought process. I was just thinking about this model and thought, yeah, I'm going to try a bit of pigments there. Get a bit of pigment happening. That'd be fun. And it may be something that we regret. However, pigments do have one extremely useful advantage, which is you can brush them off. Except when you use matte varnish, it usually fucks it. So I have regrets. If you're new here, Almelia, I know you have been around before, but if you haven't watched a lot, this is the most integral component of my painting style. Alright, it's actually okay. I think the yellow might just be a little bit too crazy. A little bit too intense. So we might... Bit camping sex. Fucking intense. I might just tone that down. Let's see if this plan's going to work. That needs more mixing. Fireball Annie, welcome. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. It's another beautiful Big Deno pun there. What's happening, Fireball Annie? This guy's part of the project that we're working on. So this dude's somehow got to not be overwhelming and look okay. G'day, Jan. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly settled down now for at least 12 months, you would expect. Hey, Bunny. Yeah, we're still having some rain and so forth, but it's nowhere near the torrential downpours we were having a few weekends ago. So yeah, certainly completely different ball game for me. Game MF. I sure did order the latest spitter piece. And it's right up my alley. So, for those who missed the start of the stream, what I'm trying to do with this is actually do a reverse fire, so that the warmest parts are in the center of the thing. Should have messaged me, Paul. My sister lives up there, mate. Could have come up and said g'day. Oh, thanks, Bun. You're a wonderful human. Yeah, it's for this project, so the sooner the better, so I can piss this off and get started on a new project, and I've got one all ready to go, which I'm excited to show off in a second. Tanaflas, it is an absolute essential for me, yes. I could not paint without a wet palette. Now, there is obviously exceptions to that rule, particular paints that you don't need it for. But no, I think it's a must in our climate. Sorry to say. Oh yeah, I mean I've got a red grass one which they sent me because I'm very famous and popular, and it's a good product. So I'd certainly say if you've got the money to burn, go for it. But if you don't, I can show you how to make one for about $6 from Coles, which is what I was using for an extended period of time. Which model, Bun? Aha, Thunderbirds are go. Yeah, it was favours for wet palette. Now here you go. So these little things are called Systema boxes at Coles. They usually go on half price all the time. So if you buy this size one, which I think is about $4 when it's on sale, so about $8 normally, and then you go and buy yourself some of these sponges, which I think I've still got some left over. I do. These sponges are called sponge cloths, right? These are $1. So you can buy these and you just get scissors, so wet it and put it in the container lid, right? And then put that in there and wet it and see how much it expands. And usually I think you go that way, and then you can add another bit on it. And there's the majority of your wet palette, and then the rest you need is this bad boy, Multix baking paper, and it'll cost you $2.50 for a roll. So I lied when I said $6. It's about $7.50. And that is the wet palette that I used for about 5 years. And I actually, in many ways, still prefer the paper. I was at the Sunshine Coast last week, Paul, for work, because I have a store up there that I visited, and then I went to look for the Warhammer store. Hello, Neshlin. And I couldn't find it. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody's got a body like you. 'Cause I gotta think twice before you put my heart away. I know now all the games you play, will play them too. Oh, but I need some time off. G'day, Jared. Of that emotion, trying to pin my heart back on the floor. Oh, baby, I reconsider. I don't know, man. A lot of places are getting some COVID impacts, so one would assume it was probably that. I know many of you wonderful people follow me purely and simply because of my Little Toy Soldier painting. But every now and then on my YouTube channel, I also dabble in some board gaming. And I'm very excited because today I bought a new toy for my board game recording. It's just some little wireless microphones that I'm very excited about. Trying them out so I can do 2-player recordings and have good audio quality. No, just a kombucha tonight, mate. Kombucha. I haven't had a beer for probably a little while. Well, I had one last week, didn't I? Okay, so I think you can start to see what I was going for, which is actually looking alright, isn't it? Not looking too bad. Alright. Any doubt? Any doubt? Scaraboss, come on now. And it's a good pun too, while you're at it. Fun story about my YouTube handle. I can't change that, by the way. I tried to change it because it's not an appropriate name. Can't change it. It won't let me. What's in the box? What's in the box? Get on your pulley. Enjoy, mate. Yeah, I've got an exciting model to show off tonight, which is for a commission. And as many of you know how I feel about commissions, I'm sure you're all excited to know exactly what this project is. And that's what I'm going to show you now. Alright, so I'm happy with that now. I'm going to move to brush now. But before I do that, I'm going to varnish it, because when you use pigments, any moisture will reactivate them. So we're going to let that dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to tweak with the brush, add a few little darker elements. Here is our new figure. Don't be deceived by any of these things, because it's not what it appears on the box. Shut up, you. Oh, she's bigger than I expected it to be. That's exciting. Only expert modelers need apply, friends. Look at the mold line. So good. Oh yeah, she's a busty lass. It's from Kingdom Death. So if you haven't seen or played Kingdom Death before, it's on my channel. I played some Kingdom Death on my channel, and it's a wonderful game, tremendous game. However, the picture is it's a little bit aesthetically out there. All right, it's a big negative on the eyeballs from Big Daddy. I hate it when they've got sculpted in eyes. I hate that. I'll have to fix that. Pretty easy to fix. No, this isn't Satan. This is the Huntress, I think. She's called Huntress, White Line Huntress, maybe. It's never too early, Jan. Yeah, Bunny, I was pretty keen on her as well. This one's actually not one that I bought. It's a commission, so I missed out on the figure as well. Looks like she's got some little dangly hair bits, which I don't mind. And this bit must go here. Bit of nice. Alright, yeah. Not sure how I feel about this plinth thing. Go for the old upside down plinth. It's a novel idea. I don't think I've ever done that before. I feel like that's a really bad idea. Actually looks pretty cool. Looks like she's got a cup. She's a Kingdom Death cup. Little breakfast huntress for you today, sir. The only downside is I'd have to... Oh, wait, is there news? Is there more news? When did that come out? Please tell me there wasn't news in the last couple of weeks. My latest understanding is that it's going to ship in November, but it was supposed to be on my doorstep in May, so I'm not real happy. Only from the perspective that I just want to paint the models. You know, the game's fine. I enjoy the game and I'll play the game whenever, but I've got a fuck ton of other games to play. And particularly this year, I've got a number of games coming through this year. I've got Oathsworn Into the Deepwood. I've got Aeon Trespass Odyssey, both of which, assuming everything goes to plan, should be shipping in the next couple of months, which is exciting. And then what else have I got? Held the Last Saga, which is probably not going to make it this year at the rate that they're going. I think that's the only ones I've got at the moment coming in. Alright, cool. Anyway, that's my next project. So depending on how quickly Bucks is ready to get stuck into our moon face, this will probably be the next project I do, I think. I think so. No, I didn't go for any of the Marvel Zombicides or anything. Oh, but I did find out what model I'm painting for the Nova Open charity thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, I only talked about it once, I think. So there's a big collection of international painters that will be painting models from the Marvel United game, all of the little chibis. So yeah, huge number of painters. So Colwell's doing 3. Yeah, it's like a who's who. Angel Garel, Mark Masklins, Francesco Farabi, Riccardo Agostini. Like I could rattle off names for a very long time with the number of people that are participating in this charity. I think there's 32 painters. Actually, let me. I'll load up the email right now and I'll tell everyone exactly who's in it, because it's going to be a huge, exciting project to be a part of. So if you have a look now at this area here, this is exactly what I was trying to get. This lighter colour in the recesses of the feathers. That's exactly what I was trying to do. So I'm pleased with that. I am, yes. I somehow stumbled my way into a list of this top 30 painters in the world. Somehow. There's about 300 other people who must have been busy, I reckon. Alright, while that's drying, I'm going to tell you all of the names of the people that are involved. It is Hello Space Moo. It is outrageous. Alright. So we've got Eric Swinson, Fabrizio Russo, David Mommel, Dave Colwell, Demosthenes Zilas, David Powell, Anthony Wang, Angelo Di Cello, Steve Garcia, Stay Lancio, Ivan Hortales, Josh Berman, Alessandro Natale, Arnel Lazaro, Andre Marti, Matteo Carnevale, Fausto Segni from France, Danny Rivas Galindo, John Margiotta, Phil Price, Elliot Piggypog Workshop, Abijal, Chris Sure, Rhett Jenkins, Angel Geraldez, David Aroba, Mark Masklins, Will Hahn, Siquiliart, Max Brando, Dan G, Adriana Larico, Geroni, Carmoni, Marty. I think I might have missed a couple there as well because there's just some emails. So just a few painters. Aroba, Masklins, Arnow. Hang on, because there's also a list here. Oh yeah, so let me just see. Stefano Lancini, Angel Geraldez, David Aroba, Phil Price, Masklins, Eric, David Mommel, Danilo Cartacci is also in there. Yep. So we're doing a metric fuck ton of the... Thank you, Spaceman, yes. It is a bidding thing, but, and here's the unfortunate thing for the everyday punters that are out there in the world, it's a lot. All 33 of us or whatever are painting a miniature that's all going into a single lot. So, I would suggest that particular lot is going to go for a fair chunk. So it's a charity auction, right? So in previous years, they've had a like a Titan painted up by some guy, some famous guy, or some Titans or whatever. And the bid on that they got was 35 grand US, and we're predicting that we might beat that with the little thing. Severax versus Solrax. Get it, Wes? What's going on? I'm trying to find a specific colour and I don't know where it is. Come here, you little fuck. Sorry for bumping my camera. Burnt umber, no. Yeah, 35 grand, and that was just for, is that it? Tenebris Grey, that's the one I wanted. Yeah, so it's a charity fundraiser. People get stupid when it's charity fundraisers, so I don't know how we're going to go, mate, but that's our hope, is that we'll come close to beating that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so first question I'm asking now is, how do these two look side by side? Oh, they look pretty good actually, don't they? This guy's not overwhelming with his colours. Good, good. Alright. I think I'm going to change my water because I've got a lot of pigments and stuff in there, so stand by. Zombie, 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 hey, hey, what's in your head? in your head. Well, I'm glad that that is the case, Wes. I quite enjoying it, mate. I quite enjoy it, but yeah, I can understand why people might. Well, good to know, mate. I appreciate your feedback. So if you have a close look, the downside of the approach that I've gone here is you can see some of the pigments are a bit full on, and I think that's because the pigments that I've got, they weren't like proper artist grade acrylics, they were just like craft ones, so that they're a bit thicker than I would like, but yes. And your thoughts? Yep, fair comment. It is probably my favourite show that I've watched in a long time. I absolutely loved it, and so much so that I'm about to go read the. Hey, Benny. Yeah. I'm about to go read the books, which Benny's finished. So this is a different sort of approach to me. What I'm doing at the moment, I haven't really ever tried to do inside out quite like this before. So this is a bit of experimentation. On how we feel. Ooh, okay, I'm excited. Ben's moon face came out quite tidy, I thought. Deceptively tricky model to paint. Now, Ben, with absolute and total respect. I enjoyed your moon face, but can I smoke some of what Eva's smoking? Hey, seriously, outrageous. She just needs to calm down. So what this is a as I said, quite experimental at the moment. So what we're trying to do is inverse highlight these feathers. So we want the darkest parts to be on the exterior. Wireless droid, welcome mate. It is a phoenix, yes. It's rising from the ashes of my painting. So we're trying to put the highlights on the interior and have the shadows on the exterior, but it's a balancing act because I don't want it to be like just unhighlighted darkness on the outside. So I want to include some highlighting as well on the darker parts. Yeah, it's not something I've tried before, so it may be terrible. That's looking okay so far. So the colour I'm using at the moment is actually not a black. Well, it's got black in it, I suppose, but no. The colour that I'm using is tenebrous grey, which is kind of a brown black, and I've mixed in some Bloodfest crimson, which is a dark red, purpley crimson. It just looks black because it's alongside some really dark colours. My girlfriend's actually just decided to get herself a phoenix tattoo, as a matter of fact. Completely independently and unrelated to this project, of which she is completely and totally unaware of. But she messaged me the other day, yeah, I'm going to get a phoenix for my birthday. I said, cool. So I'll show this later on. Yeah, so the next question is, how much more do I want to push this area? It is, mate, yeah, it absolutely is. Well spotted, my friend. Part of the Chimera Fire. I didn't use it on that model. I just felt like it was overwhelming, unnecessary. It's called Fire, the four elements. Chimera did a really cool project, and it was a few years ago now. Was it 2018? Yeah, it was 2018 in 2019. and they got together with a couple of other companies, which is pretty cool. So it was Michael Contreras Collectibles, Aradia Miniatures, and Nocturna. And actually, when you think about it, that's probably what paved the way for Chimera and Aradia to do that Ultima Thule Kickstarter together and working together. Just that experience of the two companies, or the four companies, I suppose, with the elements. Yeah, I'm digressing a bit. So they released an element each from each of those four companies, and they were all sculpted to be similar styles. So there was earth, fire, wind and water, and I was very excited about the figures. I love the busts, and I did a version of all of them painted together at the same time. Which, if you haven't seen, I will happily show you. Very shortly. This is an interesting technique. Sure. Let's grab it out. It's been a wee while since I painted that figure, so we'll try Cuddy. Here it is. It's loading up now. Come on, internet. There we go. Yeah. So that's the four elements. I won't explain which one's which, because that's a pretty obvious observation, but the earth one was sculpted by Michael Contreras, and that was actually the only one that was sculpted by hand. Water was done by Nocturna, fire Chimera, and water was done by Aradia, fire was Chimera, and Nocturna did air. So yeah, it was a wonderful little project that I enjoyed very much, and I did some little details on. There was a whole lot of thought process in behind this piece, and so yeah, to go very, very quickly through it, the four elements, they're arranged from in height wise from lightest down to heaviest, with the water and the earth probably being questionable, but and then there's a colour wheel, so they actually follow a colour wheel. If you imagine red in the middle at the top, and you go to purple, down to blue, then to green, and then orange, yellow, and so on. So it was just it was a really considered and balanced piece that I was quite happy with. So there you go. That was a fair while ago now. Love? No, I didn't do love. No, I'll tell you. So when they announced they were doing a fifth element, I was so pissed off. I was like, man, if you just had told me you were doing a fifth element, I could have positioned it, and I thought about doing it anyway and sending it to the dude who bought it and being like, here you go, mate, just drill a hole in the back and put this right at the top in the middle. And I was really close to doing that, but in the end I decided not to. Wes, I can absolutely understand and agree with your perspective there. It's a mammoth task, right? Trying to convert a TV show from 14 books into something that isn't just sprawling and unwieldy and rubbish. And they compound that, right, with some of probably the most challenging COVID break, right? They had a massive break in the middle of filming before the last two episodes, which resulted in them losing. He quit. So they then had to recast him, and they couldn't recast him in time for the remaining episodes, so they had to basically turn the whole upside down plot lines in the last, so yeah, if you haven't watched Wheel Time, turn off now. I'm not going to talk about anything in the books, but in the show, right, they had Matt, who's the only person who interacted with Paddon Fane on any meaningful level in any meaningful way, right? And then in the last episode, all of a sudden it's Perrin fighting Paddon Fane. Like, clearly that was not going to be the case, right? Like, they had to switch it up and change it because of the Matt actor leaving. And I wonder how much of, you know, what they had initially planned for that final episode was a rewrite based on some of those other factors. But I agree with your perspective that last episode, without context and knowledge of the books, it made little sense at all. The reveal was fun. I enjoyed the way they revealed it, and you know, I was pretty keen. But I agree with you; they didn't have enough time with any individual actors' characters to really, you know, connect with them. And I think that the only one that I'd probably caveat that I felt like Nynaeve was handled really well. I do tend to fall into the school of I generally like things more so than I dislike things. So if something's even passably fair, I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. I'm happy with it. I don't need it to be perfect. But I acknowledge that there was some obvious flaws in the show. But I really think that season 2 has got a lot of potential. You know, the first season had to do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of world building, in terms of character introduction, in terms of all sorts of stuff, and so season 2 should hopefully be able to let things breathe a little bit more. That's my hope. As I understand, Amazon has confirmed a third season privately, but they haven't publicly announced that. Oh, we've lost our camera. That's a shame. I'll fix that in a second. So I hope that's the case. And look, the selfish part of me wants it to go forever and get as many episodes as possible because I'm a Wheel Time fanboy. I have the Dragon Reborn on my chest, just here. Yeah, it was book 1. Dragon Reborn. So we'll see if season 2 is able to bring it back into a quality that people are excited about. As I said, it was it was a really pleasant moment for me to see some of those characters and stuff on screen, and you're absolutely right that Rosamund Pike, Daniel Henney were just standouts throughout the whole season, and I think even I might have struggled with it if they didn't exist. I am not sure how they're going to go with the Middle Earth, but if budget is anything to go by, it should be an absolute stonker. I know. That's yeah. I don't understand human beings sometimes. Like, there's a forum I frequent called BGG, and there's a voting system in there. It's a board games thing, and you can go in there and you can vote on games. You know, how much you liked them, how much you disliked them, and my lowest rating on that is a 6, because you know, there's very few games that I'm just like, yeah, this is so bad that I'm never ever going to play this again. And for me, that's, yeah, a rating of a 1 or a 2 or a 3 is just unthinkable. Because most games are like, oh, there's a lot of effort in this, it's pretty nice, you know, good job. Not for me, not my game, whatever. But there are games that have not even been released yet that people have gone on and voted a 1 for indecipherable reasons. Just there was one fucking saga where people were voting a game down because other people had voted it up, and they wanted to balance the equation. It was just absolutely beyond me, the whole thing. Yeah, it's just fucked. Hey, Plank. And there's a wonderful meme which is just like, shh, let people enjoy things. And I feel like that sums up my problem with the internet. Why do we need to have a fucking meme that tells people to let other people enjoy things? Why is that not just a fucking basic human observation? We can all like different things, friends. Anyway. Yeah, the BGG stuff, it just does my head in, man. Like, I can't understand it. Like, it's just board games, guys. It's just board games. Let's just have fun. Play some games. Paint some toy soldiers. But I'm definitely in the minority. Fuck, I'll show you my BGG ratings if you like. It really should, Wes. It really should. And instead causes people to have blow-ups on the internet. Outrageous. No, Tanaflas, you're preaching to the converted here, and if anyone is so inclined to disagree, they're welcome to show themselves out, because it's just as straightforward. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Tolkien purists are like, yeah, Tolkien, yeah, he never wrote anything about people of colour. And it's also in a fucking time when people went to war, and people owned slaves, and, you know, the world was a fucking disgrace. Things can improve. We can be better. And it's a story about... Anyway, you've started me. You've triggered me. Karen. I agree. I know, it's fucking... Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, it's an acquired taste. I've had other people that were in the exact same boat. I recommended it to them. Didn't enjoy it. There's a lot to it, and in some ways the story doesn't really hit its straps until book 4, and then in other ways it loses its straps fucking out in the woods and doesn't find them again until towards the end. But every now and then, and there's not many other book series that I would say do this for me. There's just moments that stick in my head and have stuck in my head forever, and I could almost recite them line by line. And assuming we're talking about Wheel of Time here, because I don't put Lord of the Rings in the same boat, but the books are okay. Ben might have been, but fuck you, I'm talking about Wheel of Time. You all suck. Oh, what book 10 was the most disgraceful? Jeepers. It was awful. Book 4, book 5, book 6, the end of book 6. Oh. The battle for Jumai's Wells. One of the finest moments. I get chills just thinking about it. Ooh. They will pay. I am the Lord of the Morning. 4 to 6 is him at his absolute fucking peak. 7, there's a wonderful fight scene between the Dragon Reborn and a Lord, where the Lord is not expecting the Dragon Reborn to be a Blade Master, and it is fucking awesome. Book 8, Path of Daggers, not great. Book 9 was just, and then all of a sudden the final chapter is just like, so good. And then book 10, just, it was possibly the most upsetting book, like, because I was so pumped for book fucking 9 at the end of it. So good. And then it's just book 10, let's rehash the thing that happened at the end of book 9 from 11 different people's perspectives and progress the story in no way. You fucker. But he did start to come good in 11 and 12. And then Brandon finished it off. Alright, first I'm just going to show you this, because this is my... and no one's interested in this. Oof. Oof. I would not say that personally, but he certainly reinvigorated the series. What are my 6s? Charterstone, Elder Sign, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I had both 2 of these games up higher initially. Charterstone we played through the whole campaign, and I would have rated an 8 at about game 6 in the campaign, and then it dropped off. Elder Sign was just a dice rolling game, I didn't like it. And Sherlock Holmes, I played it solo, and I think it would have been great with someone else. So, 7s. Seventh Continent, that's good, pretty good. Azul, pretty fun. Between Two Castles and the Mad King Log, that's fun with kids. Citadel's fine. City of Kings. Dark Souls, we played quite a few games of that. It was better than people gave it credit for, but it was fine. Dead of Winter, didn't love it. Didn't love it, but it was okay. Ecos, no. Etherfields, that was higher and I dropped it down. Feast for Odin, I actually had that at a 6 and I bumped it up to 7. I played 2 games of it solo and I was like, this is not a game I want, and I sold it. And then we played a 4-player game the other week and it was a blast. So, yeah, that's probably a 7 or an 8. Forgotten Waters was a good laugh. Island of El Dorado, Kami-sama, King's Dilemma. Yeah, pretty happy with all those. Zombicide, Western Legends, they're all good. And then the 8s is where it starts getting real tasty. Space Toy the Barbarian is just here. Jumping barbarian guy with his axe of shiny metal. My 8s, 7 Wonders, enjoyed that a lot. Arkham Horror Australia. I try to rate a game after I played it twice. Cascadia was a real hit for me. We played that for the first time in January, and I loved it. It's a ripping little game. Good for. We played a session, and then we just finished off with a little game of Cascadia. It takes about half an hour. Awesome. Burgundy 2011 game. Really liked it. Civ and New Dawn. Cult Express is a classic. Can't believe it's rated that low. Concordia was okay. We only played that once, so it's probably not a fair rating. I'd probably drop that to a 7 now. Descent. That comes from a long time ago. We played many campaigns of that. We played about 3 campaigns. I have a fondness for it. It's probably been eclipsed now. If I was to go through and rate it now, it'd probably be a 7. Kemet, I'd like to play that more. The new one to give it some more ratings. Imperial Settlers was a fucking banger. There's a couple of games like Lost Ruins of Arnak, right? I bought it, we played it, it's a good game, I sold it. It just, I didn't feel like I wanted to play it forever. Just felt a bit same for me. Role player, that's a good one. Tapestry, I can't believe I played 34 games of Tapestry. That's awesome. War of Whispers, that could almost be a 9. Wasteland Express. Yeah, get amongst it, eh? I went hard on it early on, played a lot of solo. I'd probably drop Ankh to an 8. Arcadia Quest is one of my all-time favourite games. The original, it is just an absolute blast. I have not had... there was one night where I reckon I've laughed more than any other night in my life with the amount of times we had exploding crits on this one guy we were playing with, and it was just fucking hysterical. Fucking hysterical. Just classic. Blackout Hong Kong, incredible game. Chaos in the Old World, very good. Firefly, that's nostalgia more than anything else. Gaia Project. The thing about Tapestry, right, I think I played about 15 games. I was on holidays when it arrived, and I played about 15 games solo. And then my girlfriend likes it, so we'll play that for, This would probably drop down to an 8 now, the Game of Thrones board game. It's really good, but it's an old game. It's eclipsed by some other games. This is a game that really should be rated higher than it is. It's a fucking classic game. Great Western Trail, brilliant. Lords of Hellas is very good. Nemesis, not a good game, but an amazingly fun game. Oath, Obsession, Rising Sun, Root, Scythe, Rebellion, War of the Ring. Those 2 are great games. I'm going to film a game of Rebellion with my mate Koki soon, using my new microphones. And Wingspan got a 9. Probably would drop that to an 8 now. Don't like playing it very often. What games did I give 10? I know a couple of them. Eclipse, magnificent game. Gloomhaven, magnificent game. Jaws of the Lion, magnificent. Kingdom Death Monster, magnificent. Mage Knight, Maracaibo, A Spirit Island, Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization, and Twilight Imperium. Yeah, I might do we might do one of each actually. Get my mate Koki, we'll film and be mad. Yeah, that's it's just not a game. Haven't played it yet, Paul. Would you believe? Haven't played it. It came out around the same time as Lost Ruins of Arnak, and everyone was raving about it. And we played Arnak instead of it. They were sort of similar games, worker placement with card deck management, but I'll get around to it. Look, Mage Knight on here, I went through a phase. In the middle of the pandemic, I bought Mage Knight, and I was coming home and just playing 3 games of Mage Knight a night. And I did that for about 3 weeks. I was just absolutely hammering it. I think I wonder if this tracks my scores. Does it track the scores? Yeah, there you go. 226 with Tovac. Great. I'm very good at Mage Knight. Kingdom Death, that play number is not correct. I stopped fucking tracking plays of that game because it's so hard. Like, you play for 4 hours, you might do 4 or 5 encounters or whatever, and 4 or 5 Lantern Years. So I've played through 7 full campaigns of Kingdom Death. 3 of them ended in destruction, but I doubt I would just lose very often again now. Sort of can game the system a bit. TI, 12 magnificent games, incredible. There you go. Yeah, what have you got, Wes? Might go have a look at yours. What did you rate at 3? Red Rising. Ugh. I didn't buy it. I thought about it. I haven't read the book. Kingdom Rush, yeah, that one did not get a good rating from me either. 5. 7 Wonders, you didn't like 7 Wonders, eh? Everdell, yeah, I can understand Everdell. I should probably rate Everdell. I might have given it a 7. Wingspan a 6, yeah, I can see that. What did you give 10s? Arkham Horror, the card game on Mars. Oof. I nearly bought On Mars the other day. Gloomhaven, Great Western Trial, Kanban, Tricerion. Man, don't talk to me about Tricerion. I'm fucking scarred for life on that game. I don't think I'll ever be able to play it. Kemet gets an 8. Sai, The Rise of Fenris, 8. Yeah, we have similar tastes in games. I don't get to play that many like crunchy Euros. We don't. Yeah, I'd love to, mate. I'd love to. I don't play too many of those because my we play on a Tuesday night, so we generally just play something that's a bit that you can do in a few hours. Alright, let's have a look at this. Frog Jim, what can I sing for you, mate? Ugh. No, I don't. I don't. No, she's like the wind. Oh. What Disney one would you like? As long as you don't say one of the new films, which I don't think I've watched. No, it's interesting. That's actually, I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list of movies to watch because it's supposed to be great, but I haven't watched it. I will for sure. The Lion King, yeah. I can definitely do The Lion King. Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata, ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata, boo boo. Hakuna Matata. When I was a young warthog. So here's the thing about Etherfields, and it's a beautiful game. Like, it is a really incredibly beautiful game. I did not have training as a child, no, mate. What I found frustrating about Etherfields was that the core gameplay loop, right? And this is a similar problem I had with Tainted Grail when I went back to replay it. I finished the campaign for Tainted Grail. The problem with the core gameplay loop is it's just not very interesting. Like, you have a deck of cards and there's lots of cool things in the cards, right? But the map has walk over here and spend 3 greens, and if you've got like 3 greens in your hand, awesome. If you don't, you have to just wait until you get 3 greens. And what I found was I was less excited about interesting choices and more just trying to like cycle through to do everything on the map to find the solution, and that became really boring, and the story wasn't good enough to distract me from that, whereas it was in Tainted Grail the first time. The Tainted Grail story I was just in love with. Some really incredible moments in there that I still remember. Whereas not the case for Etherfields. The thing that I really enjoyed about Tainted Grail on the first couple of playthroughs was just the story, and I was like just frothing over it, because I love King Arthur and the mythology around King Arthur. I was just like, oh, this is so good, yeah, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was very good. But when I went to play the sequel, because I got all the expansions, I went to play the second one. Early last year, actually, when it arrived, and I found myself just going, wow, I'm not as excited about this, because the gameplay component is actually not that interesting. The story's still good, but I sort of felt like I got it. I switched it to whatever it was, story mode with the menhirs, but I mean, I actually did play it sort of semi-properly, but at story mode. But I would quite happily play with ignoring menhirs at all in the game, like quite happily. I'm a sensitive soul, though I seem thick-skinned. And it hurt that my friends never stood downwind. And oh, the shame! The first time I played through the campaign, I was loving the exploration, and I was really enjoying the story. But there is certainly some moments where you're just like, you know what, fuck you, game. like you would have to go from one side of the map to the other and then back to the other. The whole time you just have to grind to get menhirs lit and do all this stuff, and it felt like they were cheating. They were cheating us. Alright, let's just... Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. There means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem free. Philosophy, Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. This is a fluorescent yellow, and it's a very vibrant yellow, but it is almost green, and it's suboptimal using it by itself. But I find when you mix it in with a little bit of normal yellow, it really helps bump it up and give it some real pop. Give it a bit of pizzazz. I've sort of reversed the intent a bit there, but I think we'll get away with it because we really want it to be a focal point here. cool. Might just spray that with a tiny bit of yellow contrast, and we'll use Ianden, the brighter of the two. So I'm actually, the game I'm most pumped for at the moment, it's coming out in a few months. It's called Oathsworn Into the Deepwood, and I'm all in Kickstarter backer, and I don't think I've been more excited about a game in a long time. I reckon the last time I was this excited was probably King of Death. It just looks like an absolute blast. It's a 2019 Kickstarter, so it's going well for timing. Yeah, it's a bit behind, unfortunately, but yeah, it's gonna be great. I'll be doing a playthrough on my YouTube, and I'll be doing some painting videos of it. The game, the mechanics, you know, it's really difficult, I feel, to design a game with really genuinely new mechanics. You know, something interesting that I haven't seen before. And you know, there's nothing revolutionary. It's still got dice. It's still got cards. You know, you're still fighting monsters on a map. You know, there's a few elements that remind me of Gloomhaven, which is a good thing. I feel like Gloomhaven's quite a magnificent and innovative game, but it's sort of like take Gloomhaven and find a way to just flip that card mechanic into a completely new paradigm, and that's how I feel about Oathsworn at the moment. I'm excited for it. Alright, we're calling the Phoenix done. This is a viewing angle of the Phoenix. Pretty good. Like it, like elements of it. It's an approach that I'll need to practice a bit more and think about a bit more. I probably wouldn't use the pigments. I'd probably just use a fluorescent paint watered down. So let's look at the two friends on here. Thanks, Tanithlas. I'm sure you can, with some practice and being extremely good looking, like me. So part one of the project. I may bend this wing out a bit, like try and flap it out a bit. This guy is actually a bit further back. Alright, so let's definitely add just a little bit of yellow orange colours to this guy. Just a smidge. All along this side. Fuego! Yeah, that will do. I don't want any more than that. As he goes and fucking does a little bit more. No, no more. Done. Just want a real subtle effect there. I'm sort of inclined to paint the base, but I don't have the snake yet. So I don't want to paint the base without knowing if I need to make any changes to the base. So I think we will probably tweak this guy a little bit more. Yep, let's do that. Alright. Shut up. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I think I'll do a tattoo. Let's do a tattoo. I need to get a new brush out for that. This one is Struggle Town. Are you still about, Benny? Yes. Sorry, mate. Hey, I really want to paint this base. Do you have the STL file of the snake where you can tell me how wide the diameter is? So at the moment, what I'm planning on doing is putting him here. If you don't have it to hand, don't stress, it's not a problem. But I'm not sure how big it is. Because if he's just going to be able to slide in here, perfect. I'll just gut feel there and we'll be done. Because I think that will work perfectly, and then I'll be able to do the base and I'll feel much better about the project. This guy here, this little snaky boy here. Thanks, buddy. Got my ruler here. My little ruler. This is actually crucial because if I can just slot the snake in, then I won't have to do any changes to the rest of the base. And it means I can actually start painting this guy excitedly for the base. If I'm going to have to do some more expansive changes, that'll be something I need to do. Three centimeters, 34 mil. Okay. Oh, looks pretty good, I'd say, bro. Looks pretty good. So that's magnificent. I'm a fucking legend. No, I had to scale it down because the scale's a bit big. So, but yeah, I reckon we'll be able to slide him in here pretty nicely. I may need to add a little bit more rockery around here, and there's the little column coming up out of it. But yeah, I think that's going to work perfectly. So, yep, cool. All right, well in that case, I'm just going to disappear for a few minutes and undercoat this, prime this. Stand by, friend. He's a maniac on the floor. I can see you fuckers. Good. Smell that deliciousness. Alright. How am I going to do the base? Purples into browns into oranges. Purples into browns into oranges. Now let's get expansive. Let's use all Chimera paints through the airbrush. And she's dancing like she never danced before. He's a maniac on the floor. Generally, pretty good. If you are diluting them sufficiently. They can get spotty because there's so much pigment. So you can dilute them more than you think you can for starters, but yeah, they can get spotty. This crackle ground effect came out awesome, by the way. Yeah, a Grelin, one of the two. Badland, I think. A Grelin Earth. Yeah, really good stuff. Alright, so let's grab out our contrast paints. Alizarin Crimson is a little bit too red, so let's go with, is this a new purple? It is. It's called purple. Alright, I like that. I like the cut of its jib. This is Mars Orange. I like that. Where's that browny colour? Oxide Brown Light. We're going to try these three colours, and then maybe we'll switch to a different range. And we're going to airbrush the fuck out of this. I'm thinking about putting together a best of classic Deno's hits of some of the best moments of the stream. Yes and yes, mate. AK Ultramat is the answer to all of your solutions. All of your problems and your solutions. It's a wondrous product. Because there's been some funny moments. There was a stream I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, where I was just shaking a fucking Chimera bottle and it flipped out of my hand and just flew backwards. And it was fucking very, very funny. Hysterically funny. Alright, I'm going to switch to my face mask, because I'm doing a lot of spraying and it's leaving a lot of shit everywhere. This is not effective face maskery, but I noticed the difference. Yep, definitely me and Bucks pissing ourselves at that guy. That would be awesome. I had a chat to Meg and Meg, which would be good, and Craftworld, which was good. All of the variety of songs. I could put the Pete LeBlanc story on there. G'day Cujo. What's going on? So this one should be the strongest of all. Yeah, there's been some funny moments on the stream, so it could be fun. Friends, you should all go follow Cujo on the YouTubes. Wonderful painter, almost as funny as Big Deno. Almost. Maybe one day, Cooch. And I think he does a Patreon too. I've never paid for it, but I'm sure it's worthwhile. Probably. Gonna do a bit of brush work now. Get this big bad boy out. Yes. And get some sunny skin tone, I think. Mix it in with that Mars orange. Or do I want a more orange? Maybe I'll get a more orange colour. Yes. Yes. Light orange from... Oh, Jenna, you're having a shocker, mate. Calm down. Look, mate, I never said I was good at selling tyres. I don't do much of the front end stuff, but no, I'm in charge of the retail side. This is an artist brush, Cujo, so don't you be criticising my artist's brush. Well, you either use the wrong orange, Wes, or... No, that's just it. You use the wrong orange. This is Mars orange and light orange, and the key to this is actually the light orange. That is the key to success there. That's actually not a bad colour. Cujo likes that one. Alright, okay, let's go. No, I won't use that yellow. Let's use let's use volcanic yellow. Yeah. Man. Anyone else been watching the women's NRL? I'm going to take a wild stab and say probably not. But I have been. My girlfriend and I are very excited about it, and I have watched every game, and I am going to some of the games live next weekend, and I'm very excited about it. Yes, the women's version, Cujo. The ladies. It's magnificent. No, Scatterboss. It's been out and about for 4 years now. This is their 4th year. It's yeah, the competition's improved quite significantly actually. Yeah, that's maybe a bit of colour, something like that. National Rugby League. It's it's the Australian Rugby League competition. Yeah, you should, Jared. Mate, I tell you what. So I've watched it pretty much every year because my girlfriend loves it. She loves the representation for women and all that sort of stuff. And the first year we watched it, the quality wasn't very good. But they're in their 4th year now. They are playing really, really high quality. Like some of the tries they're scoring are really awesome. And they've got a lot of women playing that used to play in the Rugby World Sevens teams. And I tell you what, like those girls are absolute jets. There's one called Vania Polite, and she is something else. I've been watching footy for many years of my life, and she's just out and out footy player. Yeah, mate, I just go KO all the time. Vallejo game colour are an excellent colour range. I have probably about 15 of them in my little collection of most used paints. There is absolutely nothing wrong with liking a paint range and sticking with it. I prior to taking over this display painting sort of malarkey, I was just a Vallejo or a Privateer Press. Pretty much the whole time. That was all I used. So, yeah. Now I like to mix it up and have a lot of different colour brands because I like to have lots of variation of colour and saturation and the Scale Fantasy range versus the Vallejo Game Colour range, similar. Mate, I tell you what, some of the shots that the women put on is just fucking scary. Like, and we went to the NRL, to the State of Origin last year, the Women's State of Origin up here. It was unreal. So yeah, we decided this year when the Women's NRL came back that we'd go and watch a couple of games. So yeah, we're going next weekend on Sunday. We're going to watch they got a triple header, or double header, sorry. So there's 2 games at the same venue before the men's NRL kicks off in the afternoon. So we bought tickets to that. We're going to see all 3. You're right, Wes. If you had to pick one brand, it would be Vallejo, just for their consistency. They're sort of like the middleman. They do everything reasonably well. They don't do anything outstanding, but you can pretty much do everything you need to with those paints. So the Vallejo game colour are very satin and they're very saturated. So you probably want to go for something that's got maybe a little bit more desaturated colour range and something that's a little bit more matte, and that way you can sort of combine the two and get the best of both worlds. So I'd probably be steering you towards AK because they're quite different to Vallejo, and that'll give you a different challenge, different experience. But yeah, the Vallejo model colour is probably the most accessible and probably where you should go next. G'day, Paulie Principal. What's going on, you champion? So if you're wondering when this is going to start to look actually decent, it'll take a little bit more contrast paints and a little bit more airbrush before we start to look okay. But if there's one thing you should all learn when watching this stream, it's have faith. Have faith that I'll be able to recover it purely because I can wield an airbrush with the best of them. Well, thank you, Wes. Ship it. Ship it. Photoshop can do a lot, I'm told, if one knew how to use it. I am a very, very subpar Photoshopper. Ah, Gavin. Yeah, I haven't spoken to him in a long time, mate. I really should give him a call. He's a wonderful man. He's been very into the netball lately, mate. I see him on his socials. He's heavily involved in coaching some of the netballs teams, and yeah, he's just been in that. I think Gov's recently been one of those people who's like wants to still be in the hobby, but isn't really, and sort of is like trying to find a way to ignite the passion back in. You know, he when he comes over to hang out, you know, he hasn't really painted anything. He's just sort of keen to hang out more than anything else. So this is a partially sculpted, partially resin. So this rock thing that I'm working on at the moment is a resin piece from the actual figure, as is this one over here. But this is a piece of slate. I added some cork bits in there just to add some volume and texture, and then we went over it with some crackle paint. But yeah, I concur with you, mate. Gav is always a fucking hilarious man. I've got so many stories of Gav just being one of the funniest people I know, particularly overseas. Thanks, Nurgle Matthew. The stick is actually just a stick that I found outside. Always be on the lookout for great sticks when you go out for a walk. That one is a great stick that I found out on a walk. It annoys my girlfriend a lot when I'm like, oh wow, check this stick out. Yes, it is Gav from IF. Yab, indeed. He's a good man. Oh yeah, I've got to give him a call. G'day, Aspire Painting, welcome. Alright, so this is looking very rough and ready. When we do the airbrushing, it's gonna hopefully come together a bit, and then we'll get some contrast paints in there, and that'll help smooth it out as well through the airbrush, the contrast paints. I think we might do a little bit not through the airbrush as well, Might do a little bit of brush. Wow, Wes coming out with some fantastic tips for stick collecting. If you're worried about your sticks being wet, still wet on the inside, just stick them in the oven for 5 or 10 minutes. Try not to set your sticks on fire though. That's a fair point. I'll tell you what though, when I was in the Netherlands and when I was walking around Europe, one thing that was absolutely obvious to me was how much more interesting the sticks were over there. We went around a spire painting, come on now, we don't need that sort of behaviour. That's outrageous. There was way more interesting sticks in Europe than we have here in Australia. The stick level in Australia is fucking substandard, I'll tell you that much. Get your act together, Australia. Give me some more interesting modelling sticks. Stop growing trees that are just straight. What is wrong with you? That's okay. I enjoyed it. Man, the trees here, they're so straight and boring. Gum trees, more gum trees, jacarandas, eucalyptus. It's just all straight. No, they don't. And what a wonderful thing it is. And they don't have Vegemite either. Love Vegemite. I grew up on that shit. Oh, jacaranda's awesome. This is my favourite, my dad's favourite tree, jacaranda. He loves them. Says they remind him of Melbourne Cup, because they always flower around the time of the Melbourne Cup. The grass is definitely greener, literally. Paulie, literally. That is the number one. G'day, Al. Hey, how'd we go, mate? We had any word yet? One of the things that really sticks out to me when I go to Europe, and when particularly we went to Scotland a couple of years ago, and I was just like blown away by how much greener it is compared to home. Like it's not that it's not green here, but it's like a yellowy green or a dry green. But yeah, like I was just absolutely blown away by how rich and green and incredible it was. Yes. What? How have they misplaced her? What have they done to you? She's got to be there somewhere. Surely. It's literally like my worst nightmare. Painting a figure and sending it overseas and then it going missing in the mail. It's just a fucking nightmare. as I said to you in the message, mate, if they don't find her, I will happily refund you your cash money. No questions asked. Happy to, Paulie. Just got to make the trek over here, my friend. Yes, I am a champion. Ba-doo-boo-boo-boo. Give me a home among the gum trees, with lots of plum trees. A sheep or two and a kangaroo, clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. I've been around the world a couple of times, or maybe more. Seen the sights, I've had delights on every foreign shore. And man, my friends will ask me about the place that I adore. I tell them right away, boom, 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 boom. Give me a home among the gum trees, with lots of plum trees. It's not without any dilution, there is some dilution. A sheep or two and a kangaroo, clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. Probably about 50-50 diluted. Well, that depends on how you're using them, Tanaflas. They're not really, but yeah, they don't advertise them as, hey, use this product through an airbrush, generally. Normally they're all about slop it in out of the pot, straight on the model. That doesn't work for me. Much. Sometimes I do it. But no, generally I will be manipulating them in a manner that suits me. Alright, now we'll get out one of my favourite colours of all time. It's called Arbuckle's Brown. Love this colour. It's a dark purpley brown. And the reason I love it is it's also slightly satiny because it's one of the Scale Fantasy range. So I like to use it to really bump up shadows and create some clear separation. And it just works an absolute treat. Oh, Swepo! Go, Swepo! Brisbane boy. Plays for the Heaters. Good on him. He's been a bit hard done by the last few years, eh? Has been just cruising around with the test team. Hasn't really got many games. And then because he hasn't been playing, he's been a bit out of form, and then selectors start talking about other fucking players for the spinning role. Bit hard done by. Warnie was a big fan of Swepo. Feels pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with this. Just a few little tweaks. But one of the most important checks is yet to come, which will happen when we put the figures on the bases. One of my usual mistakes when I'm making bases, or doing bases, is I go too bright. I have the value of them being a little bit too much, too distracting. So we sometimes just need to kill a little bit of the value, which I'll usually do by airbrushing a grey something over the whole figure. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a desert scene, hasn't it? I've done a number of them, but yeah, every now and then I just like to pull something new out of the old bag of tricks, mate. You know how it is. Got to keep your customers on their toes. Show them what I can do. Oh, g'day Axa. What's going on, mate? This is the Phoenix that sits up here. I might need to make that more orange. And this is the guy that's jumping across the ground. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to kill a bit of the shine, kill a bit of the colour. That's okay. What's going on, Axa? Still playing 40Ks, mate? Oh, awesome. Yeah, you guys have been playing a fair bit of that, haven't you? Was it good fun? Maybe that is the game I need to, the miniature game that gets me back in, is Marvel Crisis Protocol. Would be fun painting some of the figures. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't really seen anyone say, "Oh, I didn't like the game." My only observation as an external person who hasn't played it: how has anyone stopped the Hulk? Like, if you're going for reals, just, it should be, the rules are play the Hulk, automatically win. We'll add some little deserty tufts. So we've got some nice pale tufts. We'll definitely be able to do some of these at the back in this area. True. I guess it's fair to say the disconnect for me is the powers of certain characters would feel either not powerful enough based on my understanding of the characters versus too powerful to be able to compete with other characters. Which is a weird fucking criticism, isn't it? A weird thing to be hung up on. I'll have to play it. In other games you get around that by making them different points, so assuming Hulk's like 400 points and everyone else is 20, I'm sure it balances out fine, but Axa, you got to tell Leaps. I'm telling you as well. Oh yeah. Get onto the Expanse, mate. Fucking hell. Such a good show. Thanks, Paulie. Okay, let's go. So I don't want to touch this side too much because I know this is going to be where the snake goes, but more than a feeling, more than a feeling so good, more than a feeling, I keep dreaming, and many years walked away, see my Mary Ann walking away. Indeed, yes, but I won't claim that I've done too much here. This is all pretty straightforward, jamming the two pieces together as per the, because it's a two-part diorama. Paint Station Minis, Halt by 80, welcome. Thanks for the raid, champion. G'day mate, what's going on? I don't think I've seen you around here before. Welcome. I paint all sorts of little toy soldiers, but mostly display pieces. Here's a little something of what I normally paint. Something I did a little while ago. Howdy, Hurl Beckon the Merchant. Welcome. It's got to happen, Benny. You got to throw it up, mate. It's got to get up there. It's been way too long since people have seen it. The people need to see it, Benny. Thank you, mate. I get teased a lot because I show that video all the time. Oh, they're awesome minis. Thanks, bun. Let's check out Paint Station Minis Halt B80. Let's check out this little grams, and thank you for sharing it, my friend. That's tidy. Oh, look at the melon. Good one, son. Get that up here. Same as me, mate. Head like a drop pie. Some French toast as well. Beautiful. Oh, this is cool. You did some Curse City, I see. Where's your Curse City? I don't care about Alpha Legion. Give me Curse City. I only wish, bunny. Look at the baby! Oh! Oh! Oh my god, little baby boy. Where's my Curse City at? Oh, I'm stopping scrolling if I don't see. There we go. There's some Curse City. Yeah, I painted Curse City. Nice. Good one, champion. Thanks for the raid. Friends, you should all go follow Paint Station Minis Hold B8072. Let's use heavy warm grey, I think. If I can find it. If it's quickly to hand. Heavy warm grey. Where you at? There you are. Oh, apparently my heavy warm grey is in Struggle Town. Good on you, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it's probably like 2 AM. Good one, Hurl Beckman. It's a open start of the stream, mate. Feel free to share or not, whatever you want. Why on earth did you start at midnight? That would do my head in. Yeah, fair enough. When I can't sleep, I just lie in bed crying that I can't sleep. I feel like if I just get up, then I'm just going to get tired again, and then I'm going to lie down, and then I'm not going to be able to sleep. So I'm like, surely, if I just be patient, the sleep will come. And all that seems to come is like 15 trips to the toilet. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not much of a gamer these days. What are derelicts? Is that some sort of army? Oh, nice. So what I'm trying to do, bonjour Weetabix. What I'm trying to do with this tree is have it be very dead looking, but at the same time have lots of interesting colours and nuance in the deadness. We like to live in the grey. Awesome, mate. Yeah, post it in the chat for sure. Said I'm not much of a gamer, but I'm sure there are people in the chat who would like it. And one thing I really like doing is working with a lot of wet in wet colours. So all of these colours on here are still quite moist. So every time I'm adding some of this or doing this sort of brush stroke, what we're mixing in some of the underlying colours that are there. And it's just all coming together in a beautiful, homogeneous, magnificent piece of artwork that any collector would be proud of. He says, hopefully. I really like trees like this, right? Natural trees, because the tree does literally all the work, right? You just have to let it do the talking. Well, it depends which Pokemon he was referring to, Bunny. If he was implying that you look like Snorlax, then absolutely, fire up. Tell that guy where to go. If you're saying you look like Jigglypuff, get amongst it. I wonder what Pokemon I would be. I feel like I'd be a Squirtle. Wonderful. Wonderful compliments. Men are just fantastic, aren't they, Bun? Like, seriously. Just absolutely top class. You look like a Pokemon. Imagine. Well, Bunny tends to meet a lot of them somehow. I've had some Barry Crockers, but she takes the cake. She absolutely takes the cake on that front. Alright. What do the rocks say? We. That's what I said, Cooch. If it was like, wow, you look like Charizard, I would have been like, oh, what does the fox say? The dogs go woof. The dogs go leaf. And the elephant goes. Can you communicate by Morse? What does the fox say? Hattie, hattie, hattie ho. Hattie, hattie, hattie ho. What the fox say? Alright, last contrast paint airbrush. Let's go into some real interesting purple. Actually, let's use this wildwood. What does the fox say? Yeah, Snorlax would be alright. If someone called me a Snorlax, I'd be like, yeah, thank you. Alright, let's put this birdie on. And just see where we need some orange. I'm gonna do this with the dude on there. 'Cause I'm a fucking loose cannon. Have faith. Fishing guy! Here's my favourite story. I love him. Mate, they should still ask for Battletoads. Battletoads is an absolute classic. Played the shit out of that. Oh. Alright, let's let's put this guy on the base and maybe we'll yep. It's time. Alright. Yeah. So if we're looking at this angle, alright, this angle, zoom out, I really like the shape of the Phoenix and the direction of the Phoenix's stuff, and this guy works really well on that angle as well. But when we go to the front on angle, the Phoenix's face is really blocked, and so I sort of want to try and maybe stretch that wing out a bit, perhaps. But I do think that this is the optimal viewing angle anyway. Let's put the other guy on it. Cujo, this dude was grey yesterday, which is not 2 days, that is actually 1 day. So this angle really shows off him and the Phoenix, which is nice. So I guess we can probably get away with this angle showing off the snake and this guy a bit more. I don't know, thanks Mittens. The problem that I see at the moment is I'm not going to have a good angle that catches the whole piece. Yeah, I sent him my dress. We're not going to have a single angle that looks great. This one will be okay, I think. Heat it. I have a heat gun up there. Resin bends pretty well. But I haven't tried it on a painted thing before. I can't see it working all that well. Yeah, like even looking at this, right, this looks mad. I'm stoked with that. Right, guy jumping, Phoenix leaping down. That's a great angle. Looks super cool. Not easily. But I like the Phoenix's head, if you look at his head, it's directly in line with this guy's head, right? Like he's looking straight at him. So that's, you know, that's a good connective point. Now this angle is spot on, right? It's just pumping. This angle's good, good. But then we get to here, and I feel like the Phoenix is really closed off. The Axe guy is not as impressive from that angle. But this guy is going to be opened up heaps. But maybe that's just part of what I have to accept, that it's not going to be impressive from just the one angle. I'm not sure. I'll think on it. The back angle's okay, except for the fact that it's not painted, but it's pretty good. I left that because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the Phoenix. Like that guy. It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know, like this is all working nicely. I'm pretty happy with all these elements. You know, we need to tweak this down here a bit more and, you know, fix these little bits up, which will help with this guy's polish overall. I like the Phoenix, like I like the overall colour palette. I may bring that yellow down a little bit more orange, just a smidge. Yeah, the Phoenix is a tricky one to change because of the way that I've constructed him to connect to the tree. If you have a look at this. He's drilled into the tree in a very specific angle, and I've put a big chunk of kneaded there to keep it in place. So you can't see it from any angle that matters, but so the only option we've got is using a heat gun to just bend the wings. Let me just find this. This is probably the optimal angle, like this. So that's actually not too bad if we can just tilt those wings back slightly. Let's try something new, friends. Let's try something new. Always a good thing to do on camera. I bought a heat gun. It's actually used for shrinking those cables that you use when you're doing thing. So I have no clue how this is going to work. This is gonna be fun. I bought this for my project, for my Nico Galaxy project, the city. I don't even know if this is actually the right thing to use on a resin figure. Wow, this is a lot bigger than I realised. Can I? Wow, this is fucking. Hello there. Hello there, friends. It's got little connectory bits. Maybe I'll put on a little connectory bit. Does this bit come off? No. Well, this is fun. This is a little tiny thing. Great, that just clips on there. Great. I'll just quickly read the instructions. Now it's for shrinking the tube that comes on things. Switch has 3 positions: low setting, high setting, removing paint, dissolving adhesives, shaping plastic tubing, shrink fitting. Do not attempt to defrost PVC piping. Good. Good. Great facts. Don't try this at home, friends. The worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. And it ruins all my paint work. And I can just paint it again in about 3 minutes. Or it destroys the model. That one would be harder to recover from. What's my... Oh, that is hot. Alright. Alright. Let's try this. It's burning. Burning's probably not ideal. Wow, it's fucking hot. No, that was the lowest possible setting. The burning's coming from the back of my heat gun. I doubt that's as working as intended. Why is my heat gun smoking, Bunny? Alright, I'm going to try this in a different way now. I'm going to try using it like this. Oh, we broke that fucking wing bit off down the bottom. That's alright, I can fix that. Oh, don't go that hot! Oh! This is torturous, friends. Don't do this at home. I'm just dead set smoking here. This is great fun. Don't do this. Ow, it's hot. No, don't flip that way, flip the other way. Ow. Ow. Alright. Look, on the whole, I wouldn't say this is a success. But I'm not going to consider it a failure either. Stop smoking, gun. I'm worried. Why you keep smoking at me? Alright, drop one little bit on the ground. We're going to find that one little bit. Stop smoking! Reminds me of a great joke I heard. What should you do if your girlfriend starts smoking? Slow down and use a lubricant. Great story, Deno. That is outrageous. Well, that was fun. Alright, now this has worked out okay. Oh, except it's bent back. Stop bending back. Oh, good idea, Jared. Now I was going to put it in the freezer. What if the paint comes off under the water? That's not ideal. Great. Alright. Alright. Look. I consider this a success. Don't use the hairdryer, Dano. That's going to heat it up again. Alright, here's why I consider it a success. Yeah, this is a disaster, eh? This is the great television that'll get into my highlights stream. Great success! By Jove! He's done it! That is 100% worth it. 100% worth it. Alright, great. I can repair all those broken bits, that's no problems at all. But the angle was the key there. Drop that guy too. Okay, let's go. Excelsior! Yeah, now that's a great decision. Except for all the bits that weren't that great. But that particular bit was a great decision. Alright, we just got to let that water evaporate. And then we can glue these little bad boys back on. And then I'll just do a wee bit of sculpting and we'll be done. I can probably put this one back on. I'll pin this one. You should never have doubted me, mate. Should never have doubted me. Look, no one ever comes to this stream to watch magic happen, but it does. Every now and then, we find a little bit of perfection. Yes, how did we go? Al? Got good news for me? Fun fact, I have two pin vices. This one's the smaller one. I don't use the smaller one very often, it's usually too small, but on occasion you do need that really small pin like this little one that I'm doing right now. Yes, it was. I don't know, guys. Chopping off Merlin's arm felt pretty. Oh fuck! I had 100 of these and I bought more. Why did I do that? There it is. The fuck? What size is this? 81 millimeters. That can't be right. No, that's too big. Where's my fucking real thin one? Come on, Deno. The people are watching. Get yourself together. There it is. Merlin's arms was a fucking disaster, wasn't it? You know, to this day, I still wasn't sure at that time, at the start of that stream, if I was going to do it. I was like, oh, I didn't know if I had the guts. I'm not stressed at all, actually. When I was doing the Camelot one, I was stressed. I was worried about burning my house down. I was worried about burning my hand off. But that was about it. Nothing else wasn't really that concerned. Alright, good tool to have in the arsenal there, the old heat gun, friends. Highly recommend it. I can see myself using that on many occasions. When I bought it, I didn't realise it was going to be that big. Oh, Wilson! Thanks for subscribing with Prime, T-Dog. You've just watched, or you've just missed an absolute train wreck of a stream. Oh, I'll give you a freebie. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to greet me, blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow Forever. I had such a crush on Liesl, hey? Yeah. What a babe. What's going on? What's going on, Castaway? Having a good night? You have a public holiday today, didn't you? Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to greet me. G'day Jim, my friend, I am using, great question. Let me think. Brass rod. I'm using brass rod. And I will show you the brass rod that I'm using in one moment. So I was finding that I was having heaps of trouble with my pinning. It just used to piss me off. And when I thought about it, it was because the pins were always the wrong size, or whatever the case was. It just wasn't easy. So I went to the hobby store and I bought drill bits and specially matching brass rod that's exactly the same diameter. So all of the pins that I use now just work perfectly. And it's not cheap, but it's pretty good. In the past I've used paper clips and that sort of stuff, but yeah. I can glue these two back to front, did I? Ah well. G'day Alex, thanks mate. Dead set carnage on tonight's stream. I tried about 4 different things that I've never done before. What a wonderful experience. Just stop sticking to my finger, you fuck. This is expert sculpting work here, friends. Absolutely expert stuff. You won't see quality like this on any other sculpting stream. And then I'll top it off with a little bit more expert sculpting with this fucking PVA. Get that up here. QJ is just looking at me like I'm absolutely an inbred Australian who shouldn't be allowed to host a painting stream. And he's damn right, I tell you what. By golly, he's right. PVA is unreal. People have disbelieved me for a long time when I'm like, yep, I use PVA all the time to fill gaps. They think I'm having a lend. It is actually top tier stuff. I don't usually go as full on as I've gone here, but I feel so good about this decision, friends. So good about this decision. Alright, let's look. Let's look at what our handiwork has wrought. It was absolutely worth it. It was absolutely worth it. Look at that. Look at that. It's just opened up the optimal angle in a massive way. Don't you reckon? Like that's worthwhile. Look at that. Because that's it. Just 100% changes the whole fucking shape of the figure. What a glorious moment. Vindication. Vindication! Alright. Good. I'm pleased. We can all be pleased. I'm going to push this down like this. Just going to gut fill this little bit here with PVA. We'll do a few little touch-ups tomorrow. And all will be well in the world. And then, the next stream that I host, unfortunately it doesn't look like I will be available to stream on Wednesday. I've got a work meeting, a work function, so I'm going to probably stream on Thursday night instead. And if we're very lucky, and the mail system works as intended, I will have the snake. The snake will be in position and we'll commence painting those bits next. And then we'll probably be finished by the weekend and we'll get started on either the Huntress or Moonface. Don't know which one. I'm excited. Let's have a little look at who's streaming, shall we? Oh, awesome! Finally! Oh, awesome! Finally! Don't do that, Dano. That's awful. I'm excited to hear, mate. Have you opened it up yet? As you can see, my collection of followed channels is extremely increasing. Thank you, Tanaflas. Appreciate it, champion. Awesome, mate. Yeah, I'm really. Oh, Mini Maddies is doing that. Spirit Goblin. That's probably a strong one. Strong option. Let's have a look at anyone else. Hobby Hangout Gorka Girl. Did we raid Gorka Girl? We did. Yeah, yeah. I found the same thing with my World Paints piece. It's a really interesting difference.
From Jim Jaff, thank you very much for the
Oh, Frog Jim's over there already. What a fucker.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Let's go and check out Mini Matt. He's a good dude.
130.
Shit. If you compare that to Grady, for instance, like, Grady finished the game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad, mate. I'm glad you got it finally turned up. So.
I can't believe he finished the game.
No, it's just the 69.
Charge! Now you're all wonderful friends. Have an awesome night. Thanks for hanging out while I destroyed my life. And yeah, I'll see you on Thursday night, normal time. If you join me, if not, hope you have fun, friends. Talk soon. Big dinner. Out.
What game are you racing on? I love racing games.